Hey guys, my name is Celeste. This is my first YouTube video. I wanted to make it based on my labor and delivery story because it is a crazy story. So I just wanted to share like my experience with you guys. My baby is going to be 11 weeks this Saturday. So he's around 2 months, almost 3 months. Um, so My labor and delivery story is crazy, guys. Like, I don't even know where to start, but I'm just gonna go right into it. And um, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. I don't know, how do YouTubers do that? Like, comment, and subscribe. Um, so yeah, so basically, my labor and delivery story was pretty crazy. I was over my 40 weeks already, so I was already almost 41 weeks when I had to get induced. So basically, this baby didn't want to come out. He was playing games, and I was already over my due date. I had an appointment. So I was about to be 41 weeks that Friday. I had an appointment on Wednesday to basically like check to see if I'm dilating or anything, like, and to see like, like what the next step is going to be if I go over my due date. So basically that Wednesday I went in and I was still 1 centimeter because I was 1 centimeter open for about like a week and a half. So that was like crazy. It was just so annoying because I was like already open. I was trying to do everything in my power to go into labor. Like, I was like doing all those home remedies and like trying a bunch of things to like kickstart my labor. Nothing was working. So basically I started, so when I went in for my appointment, she was like, oh, we can induce you tonight if you want. And I was like, no, like, I don't want to get induced tonight. I'll just wait another 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, oh my god, 2 days, just to see if like he would come within those 2 days. But so basically, like, she stripped my membrane, whatever. So basically she's like stuck her fingers up there and try to stretch me out. And so I was thinking like, okay, like that for sure might work because I'm already open. So she's just basically like stretching me out a little bit so I can like go into labor. No, none of that happened. So I was like pretty upset because I didn't want to get induced. Because I just hear like crazy stories about girls that get induced and it's like a worse labor for them, because I guess the contractions are like 10 times worse because they're basically like forcing your body to go into labor. So that Friday comes, I go into the to my appointment mad as fuck because I'm like, fuck, like she's gonna try to schedule me to get induced. So basically that appointment, she was like, yeah, like we can induce you tonight or tomorrow. So I was like, let's just do it tomorrow. Like, let's give it another day. So tomorrow comes around and my appointment was at 7 p.m. to go to the hospital to get induced. So there I go, hella mad again, like you know what's so crazy too? Like, oh my god, okay guys, so I was in the elevator like hella mad because I was like, fuck, like I was telling my mom and my tia, like, I'm so mad, like I have to get induced because like I just wanted this to go good, like no like complications and stuff. And they were just like, no, like it happens sometimes for first time moms. So I was just irritated. So I went into the bathroom to like put on my gown or whatever. Why my water breaks like while I'm changing into my gown? They didn't even put nothing in me yet. Like, they didn't inject me with anything, and my water breaks literally like moments before I'm like, like I was getting dressed. So I was like, what the fuck, like my water just broke. Like, oh my god, it was crazy because I was like, this little boy really is playing games with me. So yeah, so basically the doctor was just like, okay, like where you're still at 1 centimeter. After my water broke, I was still at 1 centimeter. So he's like, we're just gonna basically like give me these little pills to that's gonna induce my labor. So it softens your cervix, I believe. So he was like, it's 5 doses. We'll see how you do with the first 2. So I was like, okay. So it was like 7 p.m. They gave me the first dose like around 8. So mind you, like my water had already broke. So I guess like when your water breaks, you have like a 24-hour mark to when you have to deliver your baby, because you have high risk and infections and stuff. So the doctor's like, okay, we're gonna try our best to like deliver you before the 24 hours, so we're gonna give you these pills to kickstart your labor. So mind you, like by the 3rd pill, by the 3rd dose, and it was like every 2 hours they were giving me these doses, they like I was still at 1 centimeter. Like nothing was working out, like nothing was working. Like I was bouncing on them. Oh wait, you know what? No, I wasn't. I was actually sleeping, because it was during the middle of the night when they gave me all 5 doses. So mind you, like I was just hella mad, because I was like, okay, why do they keep giving me these pills? Obviously it's not working. So I wanted like them to give me something like stronger, so I can just hurry up and go into like, so I could start dilating at least. So I asked them like at the 3rd dose, I was like, can you just like give me Pitocin already? Because I know Pitocin is what really like kickstarts your labor, I guess, because it's like a stronger drug. So I don't even know if it's a drug, well, whatever, I don't know, but they put it through your IV. So I'm like asking for that like by the 3rd dose, and it was like in the middle of the night already, and they were like, oh no, like he wants to give you all 5 doses just so you can like your cervix can soften a little, this and that. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I was hella irritated, because I wasn't getting no contractions, nothing. Like I was chilling that whole time. So not until like around 3 p.m. the following day, they started me on Pitocin. So I was like, I went in with a mindset like, okay, I'm not gonna get no drugs, nothing. Like I'm gonna do this all natural. Like I don't want the epidural, nothing, because I hear like crazy stories about how the epidural fucks your back up. And like I'm Mexican, so you know how like Mexican people be like, no, like you need to do it natural, just because like everybody's old-fashioned. So nobody like really got the epidural when I'm speaking about my grandma, because my grandma was the one that was talking the most shit when I got my epidural. But you know what, I don't really care. I was ready to kick her out, because she had 7 kids, and she had them all natural. But she's hella old-fashioned, and she had them like most of my aunts and uncles, like, or my aunts, because she only has 1 boy, but she had them in Mexico. So like they don't, you know, like they didn't know what epidural was back then. So basically I went around about like 4 hours without like getting the epidural. So by the it was like 3 hours, and then by the 3rd hour I had to wait another hour. When I had asked at the 3rd hour, I had to wait another hour, because the doctor or whatever that gives the epidural was in a C-section. So I was like, oh my god, like I had to go a whole ass other hour to yeah, like actually like get the epidural. So by that time it was already like around like 3, 4, 5, 6. It was around like 6 p.m. So mind you, like that's already almost 24 hours from when my water broke. So I was like kind of freaking out, because I'm like, fuck, like my water broke, and people, you know, like the doctor said I might like have high risk infections, and that they have to get this baby out before 24 hours, blah blah blah. So I'm over here like, I need the epidural, because dude, those contractions were so bad to where like I couldn't even get a break. Like I felt like the only break I would get was like 30 seconds, and then like a strong ass contraction would come. Like my contractions were so bad. I don't know, like I heard like, well, this is what the nurses told me, that when you're getting induced and there's pitocin getting put into you, like your contractions are like 10 times worse than when you're, you know, like having the baby natural. So the pitocin was just like fucking me up. Like, oh my god, like I was damn near almost throwing up. I was getting hella sick, and I feel like that's when I started like getting really sick, because I was already almost at the 24 hours, so I started getting like a bunch of infections. So basically I finally like got the epidural, and once I was getting the epidural, so they basically like put the needle on you but in between contractions. So I had to like, I would have a contraction, and then like, mind you, like I wasn't really getting any breaks in between contractions. So and then I was only at 3 centimeters before I got my epidural. So I was like, fuck, like that's what made me want to get the epidural, because I was opening so slow, because I was like, fuck, like I'm not, you know, like I'm gonna be here for another like 10 hours, you know, because it took me damn near almost 10 hours to, no, like more than 12 hours to finally open to like 3 centimeters. So where was I? Oh my god. Oh, so I got the epidural, and then that's when like I got like a high fever. I was getting a high, I got a high ass fever. So I was like getting hella sick, and then my blood pressure was going really high, so like I had to be watched a lot after I got the epidural, because like my I had high blood pressure, I was getting a high fever, well, I had a high fever, so like basically I was just going crazy, because I was hella shivering and like everything, because dude, I'm talking too much. I feel like I just need to get straight to the point. But this is a long story. Okay, so basically, and it's gonna be kind of sad talking about it, because that's how fucking traumatizing it was, guys. Like, I'm getting like hot talking about it. I don't ever want to go through that again. But so yeah, basically after I got my epidural, it was already over the 24 hours. So that's when they were like, oh, like we're not gonna check you a lot, because we don't want to like erupt the, I don't know, something like, basically every time they would check me, like more water fluid would come out, because my water had broke. So it was so uncomfortable, guys. Like the whole time I was there, like I was just like, hella fluid was just coming out of me, because my water had broke. So once they gave me the epidural, they put a catheter in me. That shit hurt hella bad. And then so like basically, yeah, I had to pee through that. And then so I didn't have my baby until, so I got the epidural around 7 p.m. I didn't have my baby until the next morning around 7 a.m. So I went around 36, my labor was around 36 hours. So during that time, I had gotten the epidural. They were putting pitocin in me like every, I think, 10 minutes. So then finally I got to 10 centimeters at around 5 a.m. So the doctor that was going to deliver my baby, he was like, he came in like around 4 a.m. and he was like, you know what, like I'm gonna have you sign these papers for a C-section, just in case you have to have one, because it's not looking good. Your baby's heart rate is like going up and down, your heart rate is going up and down, your high blood pressure, like that's really bad. And then I had a like high fever, so I was just hella sick. I was going through it. And then at this point I was just like, oh my god, like I was so scared to have a C-section. But then my mom was just like, you know what, like if it happens, it happens. Like you just have, you know, like you have to go through it. Because my mom had a C-section. She told me it wasn't that bad. So it like honestly was better than doing it, having the babies natural. So my mom was basically just telling me like, don't worry, like C-sections aren't even that bad, because she had my older brother with a C-section, and then she had me and my sister natural, and then my two younger brother and sister, she had them she had a C-section with them. So she was just telling me like, no, like it's not even that bad, like, because I've never had a surgery before, so I was fucking shitting bricks. I was like, fuck, like they're gonna cut me open. Like that was just my worst fear ever, having surgery. So yeah, so basically the doctor comes in and she's like, I was begging her to like check me because I felt hella pressure like on my butthole, TMI. But yeah, like when the baby's like trying to go down the birth canal, I guess like you just feel hella pressure, like you have to take a fat shit. So I'm over here like, oh my god, like I have to push. Like I felt like I needed to push. And the doctor, like I kept calling the doctor, and the doctor was just like, no, like I can't check you right now because we just checked you. I was getting so irritated. Like this whole the whole time during the labor, like I stayed calm because I didn't want to, like, you know, like I don't know, like honestly I wasn't going through a lot of pain except those 4 hours that I had bad contractions. And even then, like I was so calm. Like I was just like going through it. Like I don't know, like I was even yelling at people. Like there was hella people in the room, and I was just like trying to concentrate on my contractions because, you know, like I don't know, like it was hella painful. The only person that was just irritating me the whole time during my labor was my grandma, because she was talking shit because I got the epidural, and she was just talking too much. Like, oh my god. But anyways, so the nurse had came in, and I was like, no, like you need to check me right now because I feel like I'm about to push. Like I need to push. I feel like I need to push. So then finally, like the doctor comes in and he checks me, and he's like, I guess I was open 10 centimeters, but there was still some I don't know what it's called. I should have fucking educated myself before I did this video. But I don't know, I guess like there was some cervix, I think that's what it's called, around still, but I was already open. So what had happened was, I guess like my baby's head didn't fit through the birth canal because he was so fucking big. He was 9 pounds 8 ounces. 9 pounds? Yeah, 9 pounds 8 ounces. So he was pretty big. So like he didn't fit basically. So when I tried to do like a push, he like basically was just like, no, like you can't do it, like we have to get you into an emergency C-section. So at that point I just started hella crying. I was like, fuck, like I don't want to do a surgery, like please let me just try again. So then I tried again, and he was just like, no, like it's safer to do a C-section. You already have like an infection, you have a UTI, you have a fever, your blood pressure is high, the baby's heart rate is going up and down, like we need to go now, like we need to do a C-section now. So we got prepped, and like they prepped me and my boyfriend, and like we ended up doing a C-section. So that whole time during my C-section was fucking crazy. Like I was going through it the whole time. They couldn't even take my blood pressure because I was like shivering hella bad because of my fever. So I don't know, a C-section feels so weird, guys, but honestly, like I feel like I was kind of doing too much, but not really, because I was going through it. Like I had a high ass fever, I was hella sick. So that was the last thing I wanted to do, like just, you know, like go through a surgery hella sick. So I honestly, like I thank God I got the epidural too before, like after the 3 hours or like 4 hours, because I ended up having to get the epidural either way because of my C-section. So imagine if I would have gone like damn near almost like 14 hours, you know, like with all those contractions I was having. Yeah, no thanks. So my baby was 9 pounds 8 ounces 20 inches, and he was born at 7:14 a.m. Oh my god, I'm hungry, my stomach's growling. So yeah, he was born on November 17th. That's when I met my baby. Guys, I'm like really in love with him. Like I've never, I don't know, like before I had my baby, before I got pregnant, I was like so into myself. Like I didn't, you know, like I don't know, like I never thought I can love another human being this much. Like, I don't know, he's so amazing. Like, he's so fucking cute and chubby. Like, that was my dream, to have a chubby ass baby, and I got it. But he's so short. Like, I can just tell he's gonna be so short because his legs like are so fucking like fat and short, and his feet are so tiny. Like, it's so cute. But yeah, anyway, I so after my C-section, I stayed in the hospital for like 2 days. I still had the infections. They actually told me I had a blood infection also after my C-section. So I had to stay for 2 days. And then, so basically when I went home, this is where it got hella crazy because I went to my grandma's house to stay there just so I can get help because of my incision or whatever. I couldn't really move a lot. So my incision got infected like a week later. So half of it had to like get drained out basically because it got infected. So basically they had to open my incision up and treat it as an open wound. So I don't know, it was just so crazy, guys. Like, I ended up getting like really depressed because like it's already hard having a C-section. Like, you have, I don't know, like you can barely move. It's very you up right here and you can barely walk and stuff. So I was just going through it. I was kind of depressed because during the night when I had to feed the baby, and plus I'm breastfeeding, so that was my goal, like just to like breastfeed for at least a year. So it was so hard in the beginning breastfeeding because every time like the baby would wake up in the middle of the night, like my boyfriend had to pass me the baby and I would feed him, and then like it was just so hard. Like everything about it, like it was hard for a good like week. So then when that week came along, like after a week, my incision ended up getting infected. So I had to stay in the hospital for 2 days, which was like depressing also because I couldn't have my baby with me. So it was just crazy because I had to like pump, and then my boyfriend would take the milk to my mom because my boyfriend stayed with me in the hospital for 2 days. So I didn't really want to bring the baby to the hospital either because, you know, like it's dirty there. So my mom had him the whole time. So like I would pump, and then my boyfriend would take the milk to her so she can feed the baby. And I wasn't really producing a lot at first, so it was just crazy. But yeah, that's what. And then after my incision had got infected, so like they treated my incision, like half of it, as an open wound. So basically like they told me it has to heal from the bottom up because it was pretty deep, the cut. It was like basically getting stabbed. Like it was just, it was so painful. So they had to like stuff it with gauze. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but I can like let me just show you guys right now. But they had to like stuff it every 3 times a day, and I would have nurses come to my house at least 3 times a week. And then my boyfriend's mom would do, because she's a nurse also, so she would check on it too and change the gauze. It's basically like they put it on you in the hospital or doctor or whatever, like when you get a big cut or something. So it's like, is it focusing? Yeah. So they had to stuff that inside of my cut basically, and that shit hurt so bad. Every time they would take it out and change it, take it out and change it, oh my god, it was so painful. So that I had to go through that for about like almost 2 months, and then finally it healed. So half of my incision is like healed differently, I guess you can say. So my scar is pretty ugly, not cute. But you know what, like everything was worth it because now I have my baby with me, and I'm like happy everything, you know, like everything was good in the end and he came out healthy. I don't care that I had to like go through all of that because my baby came out perfectly healthy, so that's all that really mattered to me. So yeah, that was my story. I know, guys, it was like a crazy experience, and Yeah, I got really sick too after. I was anemic. I ended up being anemic because all the iron that I lost, all the nutrients that I lost. So like, guys, I was going through it. Every time I would stand up, I felt like I was gonna faint. I couldn't even stand up for like a good month. Like, I had to stay in bed for hella long. So yeah, I don't know. Everybody goes through their own struggles during their labor, and after this, guys, like, I respect my mom so much more. Like, me and my mom are like this now. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, that was the end of my delivery story. I hope you guys liked it. It was crazy, guys. Like, I don't know. I respect all mothers out there now. So, well, I did before, but now, like, I give y'all props because that shit is crazy what y'all go through or what we went through. But, yeah, so go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe. And my next video, I don't know what it's gonna be, but maybe like a favorites video for like all the baby stuff that I've been using and loved during like my mom life these past 3 months. So yeah, bye guys. How do people do like thumbnails?